relax, go loose. That's all I was doing. So slightly medieval. And there's the rest. Okay. Oh yeah. Cool. That's it. Hold there. Don't drop them. There. Nice. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Bain. We're here with another video after a millennia. This is Andy. Say hey to everybody.
How's it going, everybody?
This is his first day getting ABC. He's a referral from one of my longtime patients, Mike. We're gonna be looking into some lower back pain issues and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna have you stand right here. I want you to face this way. And first things first, just let your arms relax. So what I tell everybody, and I'm gonna stand this side so people can see, there's two types of posture. There's what I call real posture and there's what I call fake posture. And that's not people's fault, all right? Right now you're doing the fake posture. And what that is kind of like you and I talked earlier before we started recording, that's your body's muscles trying to help you compensate for when you slouch. So what I want you to do is, I want you to take a nice deep breath, but I want you to let all of this relax and slouch. I don't want you to actually hold anything because I want the real stuff. Good, really let it go. So you can see as he relaxes more, the longer we let him go loose, the stranger the posture gets. I'm sure you can feel that.
Yeah.
Like you get the big collapse here, the shoulders and the head start going, and then at the very end, you get the same thing everybody gets, which is the gut sticks out with the crotch. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, wow, I'm not fat. What is that? I can't be that fat. And it's true, you're not that fat. But what's happening is, as you're falling over, because your posture, your weight starts going to your toes, you're gonna fall over. So the best way to counterbalance that is if you stick your crotch out, automatically your weight starts going to the heels. So, all right, so that's why you're doing that. So what you're gonna feel now is, I'm gonna do this 1,000 times in the back of your head. You're like, that's weird, what is that? What I'm looking at is how your head is attempting to level itself. So anytime your head levels itself properly, great, I'm not worried about fixing something. Anytime it tries to and fails, now I'm gonna fix something, okay? So you just keep the head neutral, shoulders relaxed. And like I said, he's got a pretty average slouch here. This is not above average, this is pretty normal for somebody who's never had ABC. So let's just see what we have. So I want you to look down to the floor, keep going, tuck the chin a little, and now look back to normal straight ahead. So this is stretching the inside of your spine, looking for that scar tissue I told you about. Look up to the ceiling, back to the center, right there. Still pretty good. Look to the right for me, back to the center. So a little tight, but really not that bad. Left side, back to center. That's probably your tightest one you got. Okay, but you're clear on all those. Now, does that mean you don't have any scar tissue in here? No. But what it means is that the current position your body's in, it's not tight enough to show up. So I'm gonna look for some bones to fix first, and then we're gonna go from there. I'll recheck it. So just keep the head neutral. So all I'm doing here is, I'm putting a little bit of pressure in on each of your tips of your bones, and I'm seeing if your head's able to compensate for that little baby bit of pressure that I'm putting in. So far, they're okay. I might be getting close to something, but we'll see. Just by looking at your posture and how tight your neck is, it's most likely that you have a bone forward way down at the bottom, but I'm gonna work my way there. So I'm kind of interested in this one between your shoulder blades. I keep coming back to, not there, right there. Do you notice that spot and how that feels? And you might, guys on the video might be able to see that. I'm putting a very small bit of pressure here, but because this bone's forward, you can see how he gets knocked off balance really easy. I'm sure he probably feels that. Versus if I go up here, same pressure, but look how much more stable you are. You're not even close, but if I go back to this spot, every time I can produce that same instability. So we're gonna fix this first. So here's how we do it. Back right here, facing towards me. Yep, just split that right down the middle. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. All right, so all you're gonna do here, cross this arm on top. This one can flip underneath. Gently hold like that, but relax your shoulders. Bones this way versus the traditional you had are very easy. In a second, you're just gonna slouch on me. I'm just gonna lift it up. It's really that simple. I only have to move these a millimeter. I don't have to go crazy. So I'm gonna move mine on this side actually, because otherwise, people are gonna hear a bunch of little shifting sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna go right to my spot that I found there. Yep, give me 1 sec. That's it. Okay, let your head slouch. Relax your body a little bit more. I already moved. It's that easy. 1 little millimeter. So let's go here facing that way and let's see what we got. So I always tell people it's not about pushing hard. The bone's only gonna move a millimeter. Let's see what happens to his posture. Take a deep breath, relax. I think I like it. Do you notice this time when you relax, you don't get the big collapse up here? almost right away. So let's go back in that spot. Let's see if we get a little more stable. Yeah, look at that. So same spot, and actually I'm pushing harder, but you don't collapse. Yeah. Okay, so let's keep going. Like I said, my suspicion is one of two things. Just by looking at you, I suspect that your bigger problem is going to be something at the very bottom. And then after I probably fix whatever that thing is at the very bottom, then probably a piece of scar tissue is going to show up because your posture is going to change. So what I'm just looking for now is I'm like, okay, well, what's the big thing at the bottom going to be? And then what's going to show up probably after that gets fixed. So I'm going to keep going until your head doesn't do the right thing. So far, it's doing the right thing. Okay, keep going. Not there yet. It's most likely to be at the very bottom. Yeah, I want to go to, let's go to L4 and 5 area. So that one's stable. Getting less stable. Really getting less stable. Back to somewhat stable. So let's check right there. Okay. Yeah. So L4. So let's fix that. So here's how we'll do that though. That's too low. I don't think my poor knees can take that. So we're going to have you actually sit. So I want you to sit here, legs flat in front of you, facing that way. Yep. You got it. Don't worry about it. Oh, I ain't going to break. If that breaks, I'm going to call the manufacturer.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So the way we're going to fix this is, in a second, I'm going to have you cross the arms like you did earlier. Okay. I'm going to hold you in a curled ball. That ball is very important because then as I let you relax over my hand, that ball keeps the bones from shoving forwards because you and I talked about how we don't want it more forward.
Right.
It actually then allows this whole thing to come backwards, which is the way we want, okay? The secret to making it easy, loose on the legs and the feet, loose in the belly. I'm going to hold you. I ain't going to drop you unless you're mean to me.
Yeah,
okay, so cross the arms. That was a joke, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to kind of line myself up here pretty good. Yeah, we're right there. Okay, let the head slouch all the way down to your chest. Keep coming. Relax your stomach all the way. I have you. Okay, good. So right here, loosen your stomach. Oh, hold on. That moved quite a bit. Yeah, it did. Probably a little sore, I'd imagine.
A little bit.
So come up on my side here, face that way for me. So they're always a little sore in the first time you get those, usually because they've been chronically forward for quite some time. But look at the posture. So actually, Teresa, can you come on that side over there? Same place you were earlier. I want people to see how much better his posture is, because take a deep breath, let it relax. Notice how this is the least amount of slouch you've had yet, and that's across the board. So I always tell people it's not about moving it a lot. I think in chiropractic, traditional especially, we over-dramatized a lot of our movements. Yeah. Everything was big. Everything was loud, right? Tables slamming, and big twisting, and large cracks, and you know, it's great television.
Yeah, it is.
But at the end of the day, when you look at an X-ray, it's only going to move a millimeter, so it really doesn't have to move much. So what I'm looking at now is I'm checking your sacrum, I'm checking your pelvis. So far, they're all pretty good. So kind of earlier I said, well, I was suspicious that if I did a lumbar, which I did, it moved great, that an adhesion might show up. So let's just check that and see if that is true. Tuck the chin, look down for me, and back to normal. Look up towards the ceiling. Oh, well, actually, your neck got looser, so a lot looser, actually. Right side. Oh, yeah. I mean, like 50% looser almost in every single direction. So actually, we're going to go to the legs then. So no scar tissue yet. So let's go ahead here. Feet and legs this way, face ups, and then we'll kind of start checking some stuff down here. Now, the reason with all the way flat for me. So the reason you check the legs early on when people haven't had ABC is there's certain things that can get stuck down here where your body just has a really tough time fixing it by itself. And that goes up the whole chain and can even screw up the upper back there. So just keep this nice and loose. All I'm doing here is I'm just making sure you don't have any of these common sticking points. So far okay. You had a little bit of a stuck part on that right side. The reason we're pulling the toes is because the way your foot is, there's no muscle that can actually do this. So that's why they get jammed up on a lot of people, and you can kind of feel that here.
Yeah.
This also typically comes from, if I go up in here, let me see where that's probably at. So there's a muscle, yeah. So you probably feel all of that. So because this muscle is so tight on you, it's actually jamming up all your toes and ripping them up here. So then probably occasionally you get a foot thing on the bottom. You probably get plantar fasciitis occasionally or something similar. So sometime we'll talk about that. Okay. Oh yeah. Cool. So unjammed the toes. Where's my poker? I feel like I haven't seen this thing since Nam. Okay, so I'm going to manually do that because I can't find my poker. All right, so I'm going to push up a couple bones here in the bottom of your foot. Fortunately, usually I use my poker, but I don't have any clue where it is. And this is just for collapsed bones at the bottom of the foot. Now, yours feel pretty good. I doubt you have a big collapse in the bottom of your foot at the moment. The other thing I'm going to check is occasionally the fibula at the knee, because you said you have a little bit of a knee thing that shows up here and there, right? Yeah. Occasionally this bone up here gets jammed, and then your knee has to do a funky twist. So this is an easy fix. I'm doing both sides. Okay. Just relax your body. Go loose there. Oh, already moved a little bit. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just making sure it's not jammed. Nice and loose there. Okay, good. So that's not jammed. That's good. Sometimes I actually felt that one move. Yeah, on this side, right? Yeah, I also like to check sometimes actually too, you can get a jam at the bottom. Let me see if you got a jam at the bottom of the fibula. Sometimes this gets stuck too. Not bad actually. How does it feel compared to your other one? No, pretty good there. So you got lucky on that. Let's see how your breathing looks. So now I'm just going to check out your chest. So arms nice and relaxed. Yeah, that's it. So give a really good deep breath here. Let's just kind of watch. Honestly, pretty great, actually. Really not that big of a deal. Can I see it one more time? So the only thing you really got is right here. So right there when I watch, your chest gets a little shaky, a little stuck, versus here and here, it does much better. So I'm just gonna see if I can unstick that a little bit. Okay. So as you breathe out on the next one, I'm gonna just do a series of deep pushes here, and I'm gonna do the same thing there, and then we'll check in, we'll see what happens. Take a deep breath for me. Relax as you let it go loose, all the way. That's it, nice and loose. Turn the head to the right for me, and let that go. And one more there. And same thing. Now turn the head that way, take a deep breath. Nice and relaxed, let's just see what happens. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, cool. Now we'll go back in the center here. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah. Oh, that's pretty glorious, actually. Notice this time how you might be getting a little bit easier breathing right in the center. The bottom and the top were always fine. But right here is where we get a little bit of something to gain. Okay, so let's have you stand up. Let's do some checks here now. Face towards this side. Let's see if yet we'll have something good show up. We'll find out. All right, so let's get a posture check. Let's just see where that's going. Okay, so a little unstable somewhere, but posture just is overall still getting much, much nicer. So let's check right in here. Back at the bottom again and see if anybody has decided to show up more. Okay, let's check it again. So there's 5. A little bit. Yep, let's check that one right there. Yep, it's that same one I did earlier, so probably just when I was working on the legs. So let's have you sit right there, feet and legs that way. Same thing as earlier, should be easier. Okay. Shouldn't be as sore this time either, right, at least typically. Right. Don't quote me. Most of the time. Okay, so same thing. Let the chin and, yep, you got it. Let the stomach go loose. I've got you right there. That's it. Loose, right. Perfect. Thank you very much. Yep. And then trying to take your arm with me. Oh, no, you're fine. Okay, let's see if that stabilizes or not. Because I always tell people the second time you move it doesn't have to go even as far as the first time. So don't feel bad if you're like, I didn't feel anything. Well, it probably had to move 1/2 millimeter. It's so small, I don't feel it either. So, but what we can see the effect of is your belly sucked in more. So it must have gone in at least that last little bit, and it doesn't show up here. So once again, let's check adhesions. So look down to the floor for me. Back to neutral, right there. Still great. Look up to the ceiling. Back to neutral, right there. Still pretty good. Look to the right. Back to center. Left side, back to the center. Boy, that looks a lot looser now.
Yeah,
now we're talking. See, now I'm actually curious though, because your head's starting to do an interesting situation. You only see occasionally, so I want to double check something. Look down again for me, and back to normal. Keep coming right there. What does that show? Look up to the ceiling, and back to center, right there. Yep. Look to your right for me, back to center. So what I'm looking at here is your way your head was compensating, look to left, has changed. And when that happens, that usually means your body's starting to automatically fix some piece of junk for me. Bring this up. So I'm gonna monitor it for a second. What I do wanna check is your C7 though. So C7's way up here. Let's see what that says. Okay, yeah, you could make the argument for C7. Probably will. Worst case, I whiff. So I always tell people, worst case, nothing happens, I'm wrong.
Right.
But best case scenario, T1's real suspicious too. Let's go to T2 and just see what happens. And now I'm curious. Now we're gonna do C7. So back against this piece for me.
Okay.
Cross, or actually don't cross the arms yet. Actually I want you to go arms hanging. So before I fix this bone here, and yours doesn't need much, come all the way back. So right here and here, there's a rib that gets stuck down. When that happens, the shoulders tend to drag forward. Okay, for you, just a little bit, not too bad. The best way to fix that rib behind here is to do 2 big chops here and here.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt. It just feels kind of weird because, well, I'm karate chopping.
Yeah.
So anything, that would be weird for everybody. So we'll do that. I'm going to see then how your shoulders sit. They should sit more flush. I might do a second series depending on how flush it is and see if I get better, and then I'll come for this bone.
Okay.
I'm just going to move this up so I don't karate chop my very expensive equipment. Totally cool. So nice and loose. Yep. Nice and loose. Nice. Okay, let's see where the shoulders sit now. So now take a deep breath, relax. Pretty nice, actually. So you might notice, hey, that time, my shoulders seem like they're holding a little bit better in the middle.
Feel like they slouch so much.
That's right. But are they perfect? Not yet. There's 2 reasons for that. One is I need to do the alternative angle specifically for probably this one, and then I still have to fix that bone. So here's how we're gonna do that. You're gonna bring the arms to there. I want you to keep them right there. Okay. So you're gonna watch me, all right? So the goal is these stay here. You're gonna bring these parts of your shoulders, and you're gonna bring them up to there. So if you watch me, it's gonna look like this. So you're gonna follow that plane of angle that your arms are naturally sitting at. You don't want to roll up and over, and you don't want to roll up and down like that, okay? You want to just follow them straight up to there. Yep, perfect. Keep going. Hold, chin up just a little. Hold right there, don't drop them. That's it, hold there, don't drop them. There, nice. Now relax. Ah, cool.
Feels good.
Yeah, it feels better, right?
Yeah, it does.
Take a deep breath. You'll notice the breath is getting higher in your chest. Each time we fix something, it should just keep slowly working its way up higher. Eventually, once I fix this, it should hit around here, and that's usually ideal. So now I can actually get up here to fix this. Okay. So now we'll cross these again. Yep. Now this one, the only difference between this one and the other ones I did on you earlier is I have to do a little hop and a skip to get it to go because of how high up it is. But your stuff doesn't change. You're just gonna stay relaxed. So drop those shoulders a bit. Chin, I want you to have it right there. Now, last time I recorded a video, I told somebody I did a C7, and then I looked at my video, I'm like, nope, that was T1. So don't quote me on which bone this is. In my head, it's C7. Could be totally something different, but the ABC community is quite very particular. So I'm gonna really try to do this due diligence here. All right, so keep the shoulders loose. Let's see what happens. Yep, I'm just checking to see if I'm in the right spot. So it already moved a little bit, so stay relaxed. And there's the rest. Okay. All right, so I guess I'm just unlucky because it seems like 2 videos in a row I have said I'm doing C7, I'm doing T1. Hand is clearly a little too low again, although I will say the T1 moves fantastically well, as you can hear, which is great. He does pop up better. But this is always the crux of ABC practitioners and doing C7. We tend to put our hands too low. Maybe there's a little camera pressure, who knows. So we have the angles right. I have everything else right. It's just, my hand just is 1 bone too low. So if you're an ABC person out there, just know, hey, I've been doing this 8.5 years and I continue to still sometimes put my hand too low, and it just is what it is, but we got to get better every year, right? All right, back to the show. Let's go here facing that way. And like I said, yours didn't need much, just need a little bit. All right, let's see what happens here. And relax. I'd argue that's probably the best posture we've had yet.
Sweet.
I mean, that's pretty cool. So let's just go through. The only slouch that I'm really seeing that I'm curious about might be up here. So I'm just putting a small bit of pressure just to see. Yeah, I'm gonna do a gentle lift on this spot. So bring these up here because you're looking really good. Relax the shoulders all the way. Yep, just like that and let it go. Doesn't take much. Okay, stay there. I'm gonna check you from the side here. Take a deep breath and relax. Okay, so do me a favor. I want you to walk around for me, and you had said that the biggest pain is the tailbone. So either it's gonna be the exact same, it's gonna be worse, or it's gonna be better. So take a walk and don't feel like just because the camera's on that you need to like, you know, give me good things. You know, if it's still the same, I would like to know. So it doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
It feels good. Standing still hurts on the heel.
Okay. When you walk, is it any different, or is it the same when you walk?
Walking's a little better, although I do feel something in this area.
Okay.
So
let's do a different check. Okay. Let's go here, face that way for me. So let's do it this way. Bring this up to here. Yep. Look down to the floor, keep going, tuck your chin, back to normal. Right there. Yep. Look up to the ceiling, we'll come back. Okay. And yep, back to neutral. Let me see that again for me. And back to neutral right there. Look to your right for me. Back to neutral. Your left side, back to neutral. Okay, so that keeps getting looser as I wait. So then here's my question. I'm gonna do a test on you. So I'm gonna put my hand here, and I'm gonna have you let your head fall forward all the way down to the chest. Okay. And then I want you to let your body slouch and keep rolling forward. What I'm trying to see is, does this area open up or is it caught? So really let it round out, keep going. Yep, keep going towards the toes. Yep, slowly but surely, keep working your way. Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. This whole area, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just for the people who are watching, especially ABC people, I'm basically seeing if these bones are opening up to see if he might have scar tissue that's just not showing up here. He does. So let's see if we can fix that. So can I have you lay face up? This is one of those stretches I was telling you about. So head here, feet, legs that way, face up for me. Okay, and then bend the knees, just like that. All right, so I'm gonna put a belt here. The belt's just so that when I stretch you, you stay on the table. That's all it is, okay? And this isn't gonna be too crazy, actually. It's just the belt always gets people a little nervous. Blood pressure goes up a little bit, thinking I'm about to do something really bizarre. It's more weird, if anything. It's not hard. It's just weird.
No medieval torture, nothing fun?
Well, it's partly medieval, but it's really not. It's not like the one you told me about. Yeah. Not like that. Not even close. All right, so scooch to the left edge for me, if you don't mind. I'm gonna tighten this up. All right, so all this is, okay, so what I'm feeling in your lower back, so it's probably right about from what I'm feeling, it's like right there, and that's probably translating down. Mm-hmm. You're glued up in there, so when you were bending, what should happen is your bones should separate from each other like an accordion. Yeah. Yours don't. They all basically stay together, and this whole thing more moves like this. Mm. That's not ideal, because then what happens is it hurts. Mm. So the way I have to fix this is one of those long stretches I told you about. But what I have to do is I have to kind of curl you up until I hit that level in your spine. Gotcha. So you're gonna feel kind of like a lawn chair for a brief moment, but then after I get you there, it's just a short stretch to the left. Okay. So, and you might feel just down there somewhere, just a little thing go and peel apart. It's really not that dramatic. I tell everybody right after you'll always get a little bit of a head rush and a little sore somewhere, but it'll pass in like 30 seconds. It's really not that big of a deal. Okay? So your only job is basically to do not much. Okay. Arms, let them dangle, let them do their thing. I'm gonna move this. Okay, and then I'm gonna move this too for you because it's unnecessary. I don't want to bump into it. Okay. All right, so loose here for me. Let's just see if it gets tight right where I think it's gonna get tight. Oh, relax, I've got you. Okay, I'm gonna hold you, you do nothing. Relax really good. Yeah, so it's right here. So let your whole body go dead weight. Just really hang in my hands. Take a breath from there. Relax, go loose. That's all I was doing. So slightly medieval. All right, so we'll pause here for a second. I've just got this as a background for fun. Actually, the anterior meningeal release here actually went pretty well, I think.
Angles look pretty good. I'd say I'm actually pretty proud of that. But the reason we're pausing here for a second actually is once we get to the testimonial section, you're going to hear, hey, I still have all the same pain I had at the bottom. And a lot of you are confused. You're like, oh, okay. Well, did he significantly miss enough to where he didn't get results? Is he just having a really off day? But if you stick to the end, you're going to hear my explanation about how you're going to get a patient here and there where you're going to do the ABC protocol, and it's going to change a lot of things. It's going to change their posture. It's going to change the way they look, the way they breathe, the way they feel, everywhere else except for the spot that really bothers them. And in this case, we've actually been working on him since then. I've seen him a second time, and we actually figured out he does indeed, like I say at the end of the video, he does have a chemistry reason for why he has the symptoms he has. And actually, I'm currently detoxifying him from some environmental toxins, and that's actually what started to change the pain finally after this first treatment. So after I had him on a detox for maybe only a couple days, the pain started to significantly change on his case. So just know if you're at a point in time where you're like, wow, it's just really weird. ABC doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. Well, sometimes it's something else, and that's okay. It's not always going to be ABC for every single problem. Doesn't mean it doesn't need ABC. It just means, hey, ABC wasn't the majority of his pain in his lower back.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that horrible.
No.
My experience of doing this in a long time shows.
Right.
All right, so like I always tell everybody, it's really not going to be that dramatic, not too shabby. Okay, let me unplug you. All right, so take your time. The worst part of the head rush should mostly be gone, and we'll see what happens. Okay, right here facing towards that side.
All right.
And let's see what happens. Okay, so now the question becomes, if I go here, let the head slouch all the way down. Now the body keep going. Let's see if we can get farther. Ah, well. Okay.
Want to keep going? Or?
Oh, well, no, that's good enough. Was that easier, though?
Yeah.
Because we went much farther.
Yeah.
And this time you actually have opening. So do this for me. Take a walk and let's just see what happens this time and how that feels. Now, worst case scenario, that may be as far as I get it. Now, you and I talked earlier about the 3 tiers of what's going to happen. You're in tier 2. Maybe even, not tier 3, right? You're in tier 2 where there's 2 pieces to this puzzle.
Okay.
So what I told him earlier, I tell everybody this on the same thing on day 1. There's 3 ways that this will go when you get ABC your first time. It's either going to be an absolute miracle, which tells you that this is 100% an ABC related problem, nothing else. Tier 2, which is where I think he's at, it's a 50-50. He has spinal issues, which is why he's saying he's better from his belly button to the top of his head. His neck feels better probably, his shoulders feel better, everything in there. The one thing that doesn't feel that much better is the tip of his butt cheeks, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, man, why won't that change? That's because it's something else.
Okay.
There's either a chemistry issue like we talked about or something else going there. So the next time I see, I'm going to figure that part out.
Right.
But how's everything else then feel besides that then?
It feels good. I feel looser for sure. Like, yeah.
So a lot of
My
ABC
neck
people who might watch this, practitioners, if you have a patient and you're like, I can't find anything else to do on them. I've checked them from head to toe with ABC. Everything looks great. And their posture looks great and all these other things. Sometimes there's more going on there, and that's why you're not going to, there's just not an ABC thing you're going to find for this thing. He just has something else. So that's it for the first day. Any comments? What'd you think about ABC overall?
I think it's good.
Not bad?
It. Not bad. Yeah.
He's still in pain,
Yeah.
but it's a start.
It's a start for sure.
If you're interested in ABC, give me a call.